Hey everybody, boys, girls, everybody in between who might be watching this. This is Idle Downtime, and today there is five of us, but not everybody's the same as usual.
Yep.
On the top left, we have DX. On the top
Hey.
right, we have Derek. On the bottom left, we have a wonderful guest, Dava. On the bottom middle, we have Meta. And on the bottom right, we have me, Maru. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So,
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
yeah, how is everybody doing this week?
Pretty okay actually. Weather seems nice, so spring is coming, so that's okay. Just had a nice walk and
Yeah,
such, so
it's everything is ice in Estonia. The floor, like the roads are ice. It's so slippery. It's like you take one step forward, you go two steps back.
wow. It's that bad?
Same here.
Oh wow.
Winter, snow, cold, ice. It's not safe to go outside.
Oh Jesus.
Right. It's
Ha,
been a little weird in Japan. One day the weather is okay, next day it's cold, but it's been bitterly like there's this been cold wind going through. But actually, Dava, since you're new here, man, why don't you give us a little bit of background on you and why you're here and who you are? Thank you so much for joining our podcast today. Really, thank you. Give us
Well,
some background on who you are, man.
well, first of all, thank you for having me, obviously. Well, how do I introduce myself? It's been a while, but
Yeah.
That's what.
if anyone is a fan of 48 Talk, you probably remember me from like 2, 3 years ago, stuff like that.
Mm.
Sorry. And yeah, at the time I was just, a fan of idols. Now I am working with idols.
Yes,
Impressive.
you are.
That's what we're
Impressive.
here to
yeah,
talk. But that's what we're here to talk about.
yeah, that's great. We have a whole lot of time set aside for uh, Dava to talk about his group and for us to give our five cents on it and ask questions. So
Yeah.
for today's first topic, we have STU with their music video. And what was the title again? Boku wa konomi wo nagameteru. Does
Yes.
anybody have anything to say on it?
Listened it to it a couple of times, and the whole atmosphere, the music of the song itself gave me was, it felt like really calming. It had this mellow vibe. It calmed you down if you're tired from something like that, or if you're tired from work and such. It's a song to just relax to, grab a tea, lie in bed for a bit, and just doze away. Exactly, it has that calming vibe, and it helps you relax a lot actually. And as for the MV, I really like MVs that are like show around town and such, showing the town and being a bit of a guide. So I really appreciate those type of MVs just to show the environment and such and the highlights of a certain part of town or a certain part of the country. So I think it's for me it's really enjoyable, and I have it in my Spotify playlist or anything to like, or my YouTube playlist. So it's more like, for me it's a calming down and a relaxing song for me. That's how I think about it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Honestly, I think for me the opinion is quite similar because I actually really, really like the music video and the costumes they have. They are like kind of old school, but I wouldn't really call it like kind of retro, but like really modest, I would even say, outfits. And I really, really love it. I don't know why, because I don't think I see that kind of a look that often. So it's really refreshing to see. But as for the song, I'm gonna have to say I liked it when I listened to it, but I cannot remember it at all at the moment.
Mm.
So I can't really say much about it other
Mm.
than it didn't make that big of an impression on me.
Mm.
Ha- How about you, Meta?
I watched it too, and I agree with you. I think the costumes are really cute, and it's a really nice MV to look at. But I'm not quite feeling the song. It's the same as you. It slipped out of
Mm.
my mind a little bit after I listened to it. But I think it's the kind of thing I could go back to and just put on and have in the background. Just it's nice.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
I think I prefer the one we watched previously, the last MV, even more.
definitely. How about you, Derek?
I mean, it was a nice. I like, first of all, I like the fact that once again they seem to be in a high place, like they're on a rooftop. Weren't they on a rooftop in their last
Yeah.
MV or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
So
Like a plane,
They were
not
in
the
the
rooftop,
sky.
but somewhere in the sky. Yeah.
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 yeah, like they really like that view, and I think that's kind of funny that they're keeping that. So that was kind of cool, I guess. I mean, at least they have some continuity to what they're doing. I did like the actual campaign video that they were doing. If you notice, one of the interesting things about the MV was that they didn't necessarily show the people running those places they went to. Like the camera view was always like near them, kind of. Of course, they were wearing masks and stuff. I noticed that the girls were wearing the white gloves. I've seen some idols in the Chica world actually do that too, where just to be, I guess, extra safe or whatever. I thought that part was actually really much cooler because it was like fun to watch the girls go there and like overwhelm those people with their cuteness and like, hey, we're this cute idol group. Put our poster up. Put our poster. Put this poster up. That's kind of the feeling I had. Like, what if they would have went in there and he would have been like, I'm good, and they would have gotten all like super idol. Like, this could have turned into something real crazy real fast. That's all I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
I thought it would have been funnier if they would have showed that. Like, if they would have actually had somebody like, I'm good, it's cool, and then they got like, but don't you like us? And get like real cute. So
Honestly,
go ahead.
I need a variety show episode of that. Of an idol group just going around town to shops and being like, put our poster up, and seeing like the reactions that come out of it.
Oh
Well,
God.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of stuff like that. I mean, like, Okikake,
Odekake. Yeah. Odekake.
was
Odekake.
kind of,
Yeah.
the HKT girls were constantly, like doing crazy stuff
I
like
think
that.
that was during. I think that was during either Suki Suki Skip or Melon Juice. One of those. No, Melon Juice was the whole melon baking and
Yeah.
100% melon juice thing. But I think it was during Suki Suki Skip. I think the very first single.
Yeah, it's just fun stuff to like see that. So, but that was cool that they somehow inserted that and juxtapose that to the rooftop normal idol beautiful shots. They went like from normal idol to like documentary. I thought that was very cool. Unfortunately, the song is STU. It's not any. I mean, I can't even tell you one thing about it. Like, it just doesn't stick in the head. It's your
Yeah.
typical STU song. Not bad. It's
Yeah.
STU. If you like
Yeah.
STU's music, this is one more song for you to like. Nothing
Absolutely.
special about it.
It's exactly that. You listen to it, and while you listen to it, it's good. You're bopping along, it's nice. But it stops, and you're like, I was listening to music, like I can't remember it at all. And Dava,
Yeah.
do you have anything to say on this topic?
Well, I watched the video. I watched the song. I think it's all right. I can't say anything more than just all right. The video is all right. The music is very slow, and I honestly not a big fan of it because
Oh.
I think that's the biggest problem for the music. It's a bit too slow.
Okay.
Yeah, makes me very sleepy. And the video, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of type of video. I think for a campaign, it's good, but for a full blown like singles, I don't think it's a good doing girls going on a campaign and people. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it.
Oh. Okay, so on talk of slow songs, we had another slow song being released from LYRA for us to talk about this week. And it was a goodbye song, actually, for one of the members who is leaving. And what was her name again? Mette? I think it's more your turn.
Just putting
Yeah.
me on the spot, having me try to pronounce it, because I'm gonna get this later, but it's Nui or Noi.
No, yeah.
And she is one of the people remember her maybe as the Kimi wa Melody Center for the fourth single.
Yeah.
She's always been one of the Senbatsu or big Senbatsu members in BNK, and Yeah, she announced that she would be leaving the group. She's not leaving BNK, just in case people are panicking now and going, no. No, she's not leaving BNK,
Ah,
but she
okay.
wants to focus more on her work with BNK, wants to do other types of work,
Mhm.
and so she's leaving LYRA. And this is not a new single per se, it's not going to be a CD, but it's a goodbye song, heartfelt from the members
Oh, okay.
to Nui and back again.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, I would say this song from Lyra is actually my favorite song
Oh, wow. Okay.
from them, because I'm a bit of a sucker for ballads. Like,
Ah.
even if it's the basic bitch ballad ever,
Mhm.
I will most likely love it. I just love ballads. And yeah, it's a good ballad. I have no complaints about it. So
Mhm. Yeah, for me, it's more like the song summons nostalgic feelings, basically. So things that happened in the past, you remember fondly, basically. I think that's the whole vibe they went, since it was basically a goodbye song from Lyra, basically. So I get why they went with that style of song and MV, because the MV itself has basically multiple shots of the members training for songs, training routines, then training the dances, basically. And the whole video and song has been made to invoke nostalgic feelings from the past, basically. And to be fair, I really like the song is really enjoyable, and it's more like I can listen to it a couple of times, but at if I listen to it too often, it might get a bit too sappy for my taste. So it's more like
Hmm.
listen in moderation for me. But
Yeah.
yeah,
overall, the song is enjoyable though.
And I
yeah,
think most of the clips they used are from the. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's stuff from the Lyrality, their
Yeah,
TV show.
yeah.
That was too difficult to say. And I also agree with you. I think it's a really nice song. It's really nice listening to. But I have to say, I kind of prefer Vanilla over this, even though it hits me where it's supposed to hit me because it's sad to see someone leave that group. And I know she loves those members and she loved being in the group. But, you have to prioritize it's right for you.
definitely. Derek, your thoughts?
Uh, yeah, I watched. I mean, yeah, like so I'm like the opposite as you of you. Like I really dislike ballads. It's very hard for me to find a ballad that actually works for me. That like I'm like, oh, okay, I can get into this. Um, if it's like an '80s hair metal power ballad, maybe that might be
Okay.
cool. Uh, just for the nostalgia's sake. Be kind of funny if an idol did that for their
Oh
grad
God.
song, like we're gonna do a ballad, all right, but it's gonna be all glam '80s hair metal and
Oh God.
yeah, that's my most favorite thing
Oh,
ever. But
April is okay.
yeah, right. But I don't know. I mean, it was very touching. It was very beautiful. I'm not gonna knock him for that. And it's just it's just I'll never care about it for as long as I live. I'm happy for their fans, happy for her. Um, it's sad, no one likes to see idols leave, the idol world, and I've definitely seen a lot leave, and some very, very that I work with and I'm very close to have left, and it's not been easy. So seeing songs like that is also like I don't know, on the Chico World level, it makes me wish that I could make MVs for the idols I really care about and do like tributes like that. But then I realized like I would never want to do something that normal. My tribute would be like an '80s glam hair metal band style or something. So I don't know. I don't know if that will be like, Derek, we just want a normal ballad. It's cool. So, but I don't know.
yeah,
It is what it is. I mean, like if you're into that thing, if you're into that kind of stuff, you're gonna love it. So
of
good for
course.
them. Good for them.
Yeah. So and once again, you've ended up on the end. Dava, do you have any thoughts on this topic?
Well, I honestly I have zero knowledge about BNK and their group, whatever. So I don't really have a lot of opinion about this, but I would say the video was all right. And the song again, just like Derek said, I'm not really a big fan of slow ballad like this, but it's more enjoyable than the STU song, but still not something I would listen to too often, especially because it's Thai,
Yeah.
and I just cannot understand Thai.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. And now, while we are in Thailand, we are going to talk a bit about the very, very exciting announcement from CGM. They are releasing a new single called Jasmine that is actually produced by their very own member,
In
Isolina.
part by her.
Well, we're fans over here, you know. I'm going to say it's produced by Isolina, you know. Yeah. And honestly, I am so excited for this. I have a soft spot for idols who produce songs or well do a lot themselves overall. I really do. Like one of my all-time favorite idols produces all the songs for his group. So seeing things like this just warms my heart because it also shows like from the management side of things that they are willing to allow that that little bit of creative control to the idols, that they still have some input of where they want the group to go and what they want to do, and I am really honestly overjoyed to see that.
Awesome. No, for me it's more like I have a feeling Izrina is actually walking the Sashi route basically, from idol to producer
Yeah,
basically. But
could be.
instead of it, with Sashara, it's called her group is called Equals Me. Izurina's group is actually a member of the 48 family called CGM48. So it's really exciting to where she's going from here on out. And for some reason, I have this feeling she is already figuring out life after being an active member from CGM48. And this is basically a clear sign for it. So I'm all for it because we have more need for upper management level type of idols being in the more upper type of management, I would say. So because they know the downside, the floor side from being an idol, and to have them now in more of a middle slash upper management, I think it's a beautiful, beautiful trajectory for an idol to take. For me to be quite honest, because basically she can now work on the future of the group she is basically now a member of, and I really can appreciate that.
Yeah. So
That's good. Mm.
I say let Derek go now, since Met obviously knows the most about this, so let her go last this time.
I mean, I it'll be interesting to like I would want to know how much Izarine is actually doing. Like was it her idea? Was it her concept? Is she directing? Is she what's her involvement? Because just to put her name on there can also feel a little bit like it's an attempt to be commercializing it, like saying,
Mhm.
"Oh, well, here's Izarina, this member everybody loves. She did it, so you gotta check it out." It might be like that extra bump. I mean, it's good marketing. I'm not denying
Mhm.
that. Like, I
Mhm.
think if that's the marketing strategy they use, I would do the same. Like, you can put an idol's name in it. That's smart. And obviously, Izarina has a passion to help her group and going the Sashi route. That's something I never would have guessed for her. But maybe she's become kind of like a mother figure to all these girls. I mean, since she's
Mhm.
been in BNK, or she's been like the one they all kind of look to. So I
Yeah.
think I would imagine for like, how do we do this Japanese idol thing? And so maybe that she's gotten so used to that role here that she's trying to do that. Like, I think so. Yeah, that could be it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because
so I'm
me and Met Yeah, because me and Mette definitely joke quite a lot about Isurina being the mom of the group. It's like just today, Mette was sending me some clip of like some of the members messing around, and I was just like, Isurina, where are you? Come get your goddamn kids. it, it's just like get some
Oh,
order in the house.
yeah, they're making a mess. Or they made a mess milking Kiara.
Yeah. But I'm kind of sad because JJ, who Meta really loves, like I'm still praying, like because my girl is on it, I want Meta's girl on it as well. Like
Ah.
I
like
want that too.
we want to take like I take Milk, she takes JJ, and we just both go out and just take over the world, and they take over the world, and we can only hope.
Wow.
So Dava, any opinions?
I think it's pretty cool if a members produce a song. I'm a fan of members, and it's really cool. I hope it's good
Same.
because sometimes this sort of members produce members made song doesn't really sound great, but so I hope this one does sounds good.
Of course. So now, finally, the one who we have all been waiting for, the one who the fans have all been waiting for. It's like some of them skipped over all of us just to see a meta talk. So go on.
But it was so amazing having people were just saying, and I was joking the day before, like, oh, this was announced on the first debut anniversary of CGM on the 12th of February, and everyone was going like, oh, there's going to be an announcement. And then we had a movie announcement. CGM48 is going to be in a movie that's going to be
nice.
released soon. And everyone went, well, okay, we had an announcement. That's going to be the thing. It's going to be what we're going to talk about. We had a kind of teaser. Every member is going to be in it to certain different degrees. It's going to be some sort of a prank movie. And then,
really?
they did the birthday or debut anniversary show, had a lot of fun, showed off talents, did quirky stuff that they do. And then when Izurina just went, okay, people, we're going to have a break, then we're going to come back, and I have an announcement. And there were so many speculations just going, is she going to say she's going to graduate again? Because it was not funny the first time. It's not going to be funny the second time. It's not okay anymore. Izurina, stop. Don't leave us. And then, she said it. She dragged it out for forever. And then came the thing where they first went with the senbatsu. And I don't have the entire senbatsu on the top of my head, but I do know that Jada and Shampoo are the two new ones. First time senbatsu members.
Oh, nice.
So, which is amazing. I'm so happy for them. They deserve it so much after having been honor girls for a while. And then we had center announcement. So last center was double center with Sita and Cunning.
Yeah.
And then the first center we had for CGM ever was Sita. And this is something that BNK has done before in terms of how they switch centers, that you do first you have one center, then you have a double center, then one of the double centers is the center of the next single. Like you had Shonichi for the third single for BNK, and then you had Kimi wa Melody where Shonichi had music and Nui, and then you had Nui as the center for Kimi wa Melody. And now we have Cunning as the center for Mali or Jasmine.
Oh, nice.
An original main song made. Like Izurina is going to be a part of doing it. They're in rehearsals for the song now. I think they're learning the choreography and the blocking and stuff now. And I'm so happy that CGM gets to have an original single. And they even played, if you listen to the song announcement, they play a tiny section of what is supposed to be a part of the song. And it sounds very traditional, using traditional instruments.
Oh.
And then it goes straight into a electric guitar sound with the same types of notes. Okay. And it sounds really, really promising, you guys. I'm so happy for them. Even though JJ didn't make the senbatsu, which, one day there's still a chance for that coupling song. I know that Izurina said that she has a plan out a center song for every single member of CGM. And I so badly want that center song for JJ to come soon. And also, the people will now remember that I'm a JJ Oshi first and foremost in
That's
CGM.
a given, yeah.
Right.
You might have some time fans sliding in your DMs now.
But it was so funny because I commented in the announcement video on YouTube, and I was just like, I'm so exciting. Oh, this is going to be awesome. And then a fan club went just like, oh, I'm so happy for Milk as well. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so happy for Milk too. Of course I am. But that's Maria's Oshi.
Wrong man, not wrong person.
It's just like you know how Mette is. She always talks so much, cares about others a lot. So she has ended up talking so much about Mayoshi instead of her own.
Oh
And I
God.
honestly, for a moment, I felt so bad. And I was like, next podcast, I'm going to bring up that JJ is Hiroshi and I'm going to hammer that message in.
Oh God.
Like,
People have like gotten the main message that Jane and Chöprang are like my number ones. Chöprang is my number one, but still. But in CGM, they're not that well known yet. They've been going through, they debuted right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah, that's rough actually. That's
It's
really
been a
rough.
hard year. And now
Yeah.
yeah.
they've been doing so well with doing online stuff. They've had YouTube videos, they do digital lives. They're now doing some sort of art project called Colorful Wall,
Oh,
where they're
nice.
drawing stuff.
Mhm.
They're doing the movie. And I'm just, for people who are really interested in details, go look at the movie poster and look in the background, and you will find a cursed object, or at least I'm calling it that when I'm talking to Maria about it.
Uh-oh.
There's a doll in the background called Mamyang.
Mhm.
Probably not saying that right. That thing is in. You can see it sometimes in like CGM pictures or in digital live studios. It's been in the background. That thing looks like it could have been in a horror movie.
Oh dear
It's
God.
scary.
Do I want to watch that poster now?
Well, you have to because you have
Yeah.
to see all the cute jumping poses they
Well,
have at the
true.
bottom, and then you must look at Mamyang and be scared.
Figures.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that type of picture again.
Is there some kind of like backstory to that? I mean, have the
Yeah.
members talked about it?
So I think there was a lot of speculation because Mamyang just showed up out of nowhere suddenly. It was just there one day,
Oh wow.
scaring people, and of course people noticed when the doll is big. I'm talking, it's big, big. It could be. I think it's not quite as tall as Milk, but it's not too far off either. And
Oh wow.
the speculation is now, especially since she's on the poster, it is on the poster, that at some point during this prank comedy movie that CGM is in, that they made the doll for the group to, freak them out. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but
Oh
I'm
God.
sure it's going to be effective.
Oh God. Here we
Yeah.
go.
But it looks so scary, and the eyes are dead. Like,
Oh, that glaze.
it
Oh
could
my
have been a
God.
horror movie thing.
Oh God.
But when it
But
comes to
like,
Isabelina leaving, I think she was offered to leave the group, graduate, and then work for CGM as some sort of management position. Because
Okay.
the people in BNK, or the management for BNK at the time was BNK Office, is now IAM.
Mhm.
They want to keep her. They want to keep her working with the group. And she's such a trusted person within that part of the company
Oh
that they
wow.
wanted to keep her and make her kind of like, in JKT, they had Melody.
Oh,
She went
Melody.
on to work for the management, that it
Mhm.
would be that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
But Iserina still wants to be an idol. She still wants to actively do that. And to do that, she's combining working as the full-time mom of CGM48.
So basically gathering the experience from both sides basically at the moment, I would say.
Yeah. And she's doing an awesome, awesome job.
Yeah, it shows she's really working on her life after idoldom basically. So
Very
And she
cool.
speaks English, everyone. Like, just some people might not know, but Iserina speaks English. Not a lot, but a little.
Very cool.
Because I have a
is
video
that
from her saying hi, because I did the greeting thing, and I
Mhm.
spoke Japanese to her because I know she doesn't speak English based on the documentary
Mhm.
they released last year, and she responded back in English to me, and I was like, "What?
The
You
shock.
didn't have
The
to?
shock. What?
She can? No."
Nice.
like I've never seen Meta as giddy as she is talking about CGM and BNK. It's like normally it's me just ranting to her and spamming her, but like when these announcements happen, it's her spamming me, and like it's so much fun. Like I'm kept in touch like with all the comings and goings. Like I didn't even need to do the searching through Twitter and Facebook myself. Like Meta will just tell me it all, and
Oh
I
wow.
love it. Yeah. So that this has been quite a long talk. So let us jump back to Japan because I think there are some things that Derek and DX want to talk about, like Sayane's song, maybe.
Yes, Cyan. It's been a bit quiet around Cyan, so I'm really glad she released a new song. Basically, since well, ever since she left NMB48, it's relatively harder to keep in touch since normally I just go on Twitter and see all the members posting and such.
Mm.
And now that Cyan is not the member anymore, it's a bit harder because it's besides following members from the 48 group, I don't do much on Twitter. But then I saw she released a new song, and I was quite happy because it has been a bit quiet around Sayane. And when I heard the song, it felt like, yeah, this is quite uplifting. It's pretty generic in a way as well, but it's good to hear from Sayane again since it actually has been a while. Ever since the pandemic, it's been quiet around her as well. So it's more like, what was she up to? And now that she is has released the new song, it's good to see her back in action, I would say. So, as for the song itself, it felt a bit generic for some reason, but it is enjoyable. But it's passable for me. It's too generic for me, for my taste.
It's good to see her active. With everybody has missed her, so we're gonna be happy with just that at the moment. She hasn't dropped off the earth. So does anybody else have any opinions on this topic?
I thought like Cyane is like it's signing, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's again like I have nothing bad to ever say about that girl ever. Like she did so much for AKB and NMB. Obviously she brought NMB into serious competition for
Yeah,
AKB there for a while. Like the Saya Milky combi was just an incredible time period in the history of AKB's whole entire lifespan. But I would say her solo stuff, I can see her taking all of her fans from NMB and bringing them into this world that she likes to fill. Is it creative? No. Is it interesting? Maybe, I guess, depending how much you like her. The MV is cool. But it's Saya, like there's Sayane, like she always looks amazing and great and everything.
Mhm.
hmm
I mean, again, it's to me, Saine's got one of those rare voices we all know, we all love,
yeah,
and when the songs were being written in NMB that really fit her, man, you couldn't stop NMB. Like they
exactly.
were incredible. Like, don't you guys agree? Like you guys all have NMB stories, right? Like I
Yeah,
mean, you guys know,
basically.
like
Uh-huh.
Common like come on, like
Oh,
Dominic, Lost Me
amazing.
Now. Oh man.
you can't get better than that. Like it's and then but then that's just one. I mean, all their songs like were great. And then China's single stuff, it's good. I mean, it's her, she kind of reminds me of like a more rougher version of Miwa. Do
Oh,
you guys know the
yeah.
artist
Yeah, yeah,
Miwa?
yeah. I know her, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if Miwa decided to go to Osaka for like 5 years and hang out with Yakuza there or something. It's got that like rough attitude, because Sayane does
Yeah.
have that little bit of roughness to her. And do
Yeah.
you guys remember? Do you guys ever read like the 48 Talk forums, Stage 48 forums, or what's his name? He always went to Saya, and he always
Oh,
goes to check. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I know, but
He
I
was
forgot his
No.
name. But I can't get. I've seen this post all the time during my time at Stage 48, but I can't
like,
say his name at the moment.
yeah, but he's like he's got he always does Checky, and he's
Yeah.
like it was always going to them, and so his interactions with Sayane were, I think, very interesting. Like, and it was just like you can tell like there's this whole other side to her,
hmm
like, and she's small too. Like she looks kind of tall, I think,
She was.
from that's
I was
camera.
in shock when I went to her handshake event. I was like, why am I towering over Sayane? What the?
Right? Like, yeah, it's like, huh? But overall, I would say she's not bad by any means of what she's doing. I really wanted her to do something like more interesting and creative.
Yeah.
Like, like do that same song, but do it just her with like an acoustic guitar, just like wailing it, and just her. Like that I could get into. Like something like
Yeah.
super chill. But she likes to do the rock thing. So
Yep.
if you're into that like mainstream middle rock feel, this is a great song. I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. There's not a hook in there I can hear that I'm gonna remember, but that's not a bad thing because I remember
Yeah.
saying like her voice you'll always remember.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So like she's got like that dual attack where she can do okay, the song may not be that great, but it's Sayane's voice. You love it. It's pleasing to the ears. You'll remember it. Or if the
So
hook's there, you'll remember it forever. Like Common
yeah.
Eggs. Like
Yeah.
that
So
hook in that song is undeniable. So
so to sum it up, we all love it, love her. We love it because it's Sayane, and we all love Sayane. And like, but the overall style and like sound of the music isn't really for any of us. So you can't really expect us to be in love with it. How about you, Meta? Do you have anything to say?
I think, well, Sayane has been kind of hit and miss with me for her solo stuff. I really enjoyed her first solo album, and then I wasn't that big on the second one. And I think I'm kind of in the same area where it's nice, but I actually more prefer going back listening to the song Joker
Ah, yeah.
again.
That's a
right.
classic though. That's a classic though. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, it's good. It's Sayane. It's like you said, Derek. It's her. It works.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for finally, Dava, anything to say about Sayane?
Well, I always been a big fan of Sai since she was in postgraduate. I always listen to her stuff. And well, when I listen to this new song, intro start, I already know I'm gonna like this song because it just has the type of melody that I like. Those the bass line and the guitar, very pronounced bass line like that. And yeah, the song is good, and of course, as everybody says, it's Sayane. Which is, it's Sayane.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot mistake Sayane. Yeah, and I love it. I love the song. Not so much the music video. I think I don't feel the music video of the song very well. The styling isn't very good. I just don't like Dori videos.
Okay. So now another thing I think it was DX wanted to talk about is I don't actually know even how to pronounce the group's name. 22-7 maybe, and
Yeah,
that
I just
song
used it to that. I used 22/7 for
yeah
ease and this basically.
22-7 Boku ga
I five.
Matteru Monora Nara. Yeah. So who wants to say anything about this one?
For me, I wasn't at first that interested in 22/7 as a group, but then the whole Sally Amaki thing happened on Showroom,
Yeah.
since she is basically raised in the US and went back to Japan basically. So her English is really as good as Hiratarina back in the day in AKB48. So it was really nice to see more of her, and the fact that she literally has two personalities: her Japanese personality and her English personality. The Japanese personality is always the traditional idol everyone knows, and when she switches to her English personality, she basically becomes this meme idol. She spams all forums around, and there was a time management wouldn't let her have her own Twitter and her own YouTube channel because she was way too random at times. Because she doesn't hold back when she's talking bad about someone. She doesn't hold back at all, and it's one of the main reasons I started following 22/7, because you never know what is going to happen with Sully around basically. If she's in Japanese mode, she is this toned down idol. She's basically like any traditional idol in a traditional sense. But when she switches into English mode, you don't know what to expect. It can be random AF basically. Uh, as for the song itself, it was enjoyable, but again, it's more like a ballad slash slow song, so it's more like it's there. But I really wanted to highlight 22/7 as a group for once because, well, one of the members is basically fluent in English, so how can we deny them their existence basically? So that's why.
Okay.
And another reason why I wanted to bring this up is Meta had an interaction with one of the members, so take it away.
Yeah. I've now done an online handshake event with Amaki Sally. So I've met her for 15 seconds.
So nice.
It was kind of random because they were doing the Valentine's Day event, and you could get free tickets to see any of the 22/7 girls, I think.
Mhm.
And I just went, well, sure. because that's gonna work. And I did it, and I was kind of scared of the whole, the Sakura Saka stuff happening. I was thinking like, oh, I'm a foreigner, I'm probably gonna get banned or something. And then it worked out. So I stayed up till, I think it was up to 3 a.m.
Oof, okay.
just waiting
Wow.
in line and doing it. It was on my phone as well. And then I met her and she was just like, oh, hi, it's so nice to meet you. Am I saying your name right? And then, so thank you so much. And then cut off. But she was really cute and sweet. And I'm really happy I got to see her, because I'm the same as you, DX. I follow her on Twitter. I follow her YouTube videos. I really enjoy her duality.
Yeah.
And she's very relatable, especially to someone who's now going back to school, studying, and just going, oh, I have to learn that stuff, but
Yeah,
I don't want
exactly.
to. I want to make good food instead, but I'm not good at making food. So it was overall a really good experience. And I think, 22/7 has some nice songs. They're not my favorites by any means, but they're enjoyable to follow along with. Yeah.
So for me, my knowledge of 22/7 starts and ends with Meta messaging me at like 2 a.m. about the call she had with Sally. She says she wasn't expecting me to be awake at the time, but that conversation ended up like way into the night. But
Oh.
yeah. So, like, I don't know much about them, but, Meto's clearly really happy to meet Sally. Derek, Dava, do either of you have anything to say?
Me? Sorry.
I
Yeah.
do actually.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dava. You go first. It's okay.
Well, I actually have an interesting story on how I actually follow a bit. Uh, do you guys remember that Sally once went to Indonesia, Jakarta at?
Yeah, wasn't it for some festival, or was it a convention?
Yeah. Well, for once, I actually came to that convention, see her in person, so that was one. But I don't really have a lot. But the second thing is, well, one of the most requested is Sally to do is to meet with Pucci, a member of BNK48 at the time.
Oh, she's a fan, right?
Yeah, they do a lot of interaction on Twitter and
Yeah.
basically doing this a lot of meme stuff because Pucci is
Yeah.
very much an e-girl and Sally is very much a memer. So yeah, they both click with each other. Video was very fun to watch. Yeah, since then I actually follow the group. A bit going back to JKT a bit because stop following JKT since the third gen 14. It gave me a bit more interest in the group because a bit of interesting things. Basically, that is my story with the group.
Okay. So, anything to say, Derek?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Sally's an interesting character. She certainly has been amusing. She's very sharp.
Yep.
I really enjoy her sense of like not like the IDGAF attitude she has. It's always really fun. That being said, she walks that fine line between idol and then I'm not I'm her foreign side. So she's a very unique idol in that regard. So it's hard to talk about this without thinking about that first and foremost. But that being said, I think she was trying to keep the focus on the song itself and everything with the MV and everything, all that. So I give her props for that. But I also kind of think like the song itself was just meh. It what I would expect from her is more of an extreme, more of a really out there, even Chica idol, almost like super Chica Poi, like where it's like, oh my god, what is this? Because that would reflect her and as opposed to let's make a song that's going to appeal to as many people as possible, which I felt that's kind of what was going on here
Yeah.
to some degree.
Mhm.
I'm sure that wasn't the intention. I'm just saying I felt that, but I feel like it doesn't reflect who she is, in my opinion. The MV itself, yeah, sure, it was creative, so that part I thought was cool. But I think like I want to see her. I don't want to see a drawing. I want to see her being nuts. Like I want to see that random Like she should do a whole MV of just like
Oh god.
memes, you know.
I don't think management will forgive her.
But it would be funny. It would be
Yeah.
very much who she is. So that's sort of my only issue with that is like, yeah, she's cool. I support anything she does. She's definitely an interesting character. I wish she was part of the Chica world. I wish she wasn't trying to be a major idol. She would be so much more, I think, beloved and accepted in the world that I'm in because she could stand out, I think, a lot better and get much more acceptance, and people would they probably really love her. But I don't know. She's happy where she's at, I guess. So, good for her. I can only hope for better things from her in the future.
Of course. So, and for one more kind of a shorter topic, I think it was Derek who wanted to talk a bit about Yukirin and the covers she has been posting.
Yeah, so Yukirin, she did what, like, what was it, like the Yui, what is that the name of the singer, Yui?
Yui,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, like I checked it out. I wasn't like impressed or anything. I mean, it's like, again, I'm not into slow ballad songs. Like they just don't work for me. So that, even if it's my Kami of all Kami Oshi's doing it, but I was seeing that she did something else instead that was interesting, more interesting to me, and that was she likes to post dance videos on her own channel,
Yeah.
and she'll dance, and she's always looking so good too. Like she always dresses like so amazing. This time, not so much.
Oh.
She wasn't dressed as wonderfully as she normally is. But that being said, it didn't matter. Her latest dance video was basically her being challenged to like go as fast as she can through like different AKB songs,
Oh wow.
and so she was just getting her butt whipped when she was trying to do No Way Man. She was messing up so much. Like she's like, and it was like, wow, for the first time ever, you're showing that you're like kind of getting up there in the idol age range, and it was just really cute because like I've seen her grow up. Like it's embarrassing to say, but I've literally watched her go from being this like young teenager to like mama of AKB. Like, and who would have
Yeah.
thought she'd be like the last one standing?
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, I almost swore there. Who the heck would have thought? I can't believe she's still in this, like, doing it. Like, it's impressive, and she can still dance. Don't get me wrong. Like the dance video, she's still busting the chops. I mean, she's still like, she still has it. But it was funny because like they were getting some like really old songs. She's like, oh my god. She's like, I haven't done this in so long. And so she was trying to remember it, couldn't. And so when you put Karen in a situation like that where you're overwhelming her mentally, it's just all kinds of physical crazy reactions happen. So that dance video so funny. Like I was laughing so much watching it, and just hearing her talk and just complaining. Like she's like, "Yeah, bye, bye." Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, and then like, and then Karen's black heart kind of shows up, where
Uh-oh.
like she's sort of like, she's normally like, "Hello, everyone, I'm Karen," but then at one point she was like, "Oh, this is so bad." Like like when she starts talking that low voice, it gets real serious. And like it's almost like, oh wow, that's like scary, Kieran. And like, and it's always the one we always hear legends and stories about,
Yeah.
but we never see.
Mhm.
She let it slip there for a moment. I could just see the man in the back, probably like, don't do that. But I mean, it was funny because it was like, it made me wonder what she's really like. Like, she's like all smiles for the camera, then that gap, and as soon as the camera's off, she's like, ugh. Let me have a beer, and I mean, you never know. It's funny because again, she's been doing this for so long. She has been such a staple of AKB. To see her now doing these dancings and her solo stuff, which her last, like I told you, that last MV she did was great. It was wonderful, really good song. Very very bish. So I was like all about it. But then she did this cover, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, well, all right. But then she puts out the dance video to balance like that serious Yui cover with silly Karen. Like she is truly an idol. That's idol. Like anybody wants to know the definition of idol, look up Karen. Like she has it all. She does it all. So it was cool. You guys should definitely, have you guys seen the dance video I'm talking
No,
about?
I haven't seen
Any
it yet, but I'm
No,
interested to
I've
see it
seen
now, though.
others.
Yeah. Like,
I'm watching it right now, actually.
Yeah, so funny. So funny.
I'm watching this right now.
so does anybody else have anything to say on this topic of Yukirin and her amazing dance video that I now really want to check out?
I haven't seen it yet, so it's more like I'm really interested to see it because it has done a couple of times in the past actually. Because even during the recording of Labrador Retriever, AKB48 posted it on their YouTube channel as well, having the members first just supposedly doing the recording for Labrador Retriever, but then switching the songs around from Ogoe Diamond to Uza to like okay, it was basically a Russian roulette in songs basically, and a bit further in the future as well, Yuna Morion they did the same kind of challenge on their YouTube channel as well. So it's more like those type of challenges are really fun to watch, and I kind of want to check Yuki's version out.
Definitely.
Yeah, I kind of want to check Yuki's version out now. So yeah.
Definitely do.
Definitely sparked interest. So, and for the next one, I've heard that with SKE48, we finally have the announcements and the date for the graduation concert, which is for, who was again, Jurina and who else? I've forgotten
Akane.
the name. I'm so sorry. I'm a failure of a fan.
No.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
You talk about Takeyanagi Akane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So their graduation concert announcements have been made, which is good. It's been so long. Everybody has been like, so is the graduation even happening now? Or like, what is going on? But it's happening. I don't know if anybody else has something to say about this.
No, for me,
be
it's more
sad.
like it's going to be really a sad fest. If my attendance of Matsuyu Rena's graduation is anything to go by, the atmosphere after the concert is going to be doom and gloom. I know that for sure.
I'm gonna apply the same logic here as I am applying to the Ice One last concert, which is I refuse to cry before it actually happens. So
Good way of thinking.
not gonna think about it unless it's actually until it's actually happening. So, with these things talked about, we have finally arrived to the reason our guest is here to talk about the idol group Lusca. So,
Yay.
take it away, Dava.
Oh, well, first of all,
Oh,
I can see that. But I have them in the TV in the background now.
okay.
Oh,
So, well, where should I start actually? Anyone have any question first? Where should I start?
well, how old are
Who the group is and what they are and where they're from. I mean, give us some background. Pretend nobody knows who you are right now.
Okay. Okay, first
That's
of all,
all.
I guess I should just introduce myself first. So, first of all, my name is Dava. As I start, you probably know me. A couple of years ago, I've been in 48 Talk before, and at that time, I was still, I guess you can say, a new fan to the idol world. So, I was still exploring all stuff. I've done a few blogging. After I started blogging, I met this group named Sakamki Squad Bandung, and they have a YouTube channel. And what basically I became the creative director.
Uh-huh.
That's where my first experience as a creative director came from. And about a year and a half after that, a friend who is also part of Squad Bandung, he worked as a creative director in this idol group named Lusca. At the time, I literally know nothing about the Lusca or really just the idol scene in don't know anything. So, he gave me this offer to, hey, do you want to take over my job as a creative director for this idol group? And yeah, so basically, at first I do a bit of digging about who the group is, what they are doing, what they have achieved, and stuff like that. And basically, I found out that they are pretty massive, well, the idol scene in this country. So yeah, I take the job offer. I've been working with them for about a year now. Actually, it's been almost exactly a year since I worked with them. Yeah, So
What country?
uh, it's in Indonesia.
Indonesia. Welcome, Indonesia fans that might be watching. Thank you. We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
So
Lusca is an idol group from Bandung in Indonesia. So Bandung is about what 160 kilometers, 100 miles away from Jakarta,
Hmm.
the capital, and it's also where I live. So yeah, the group is actually really old. They started as a cover dance group from January of 2012, and to put that into perspective, JKT48 hasn't even released their first song yet. By that time, they were still basically doing covers. Maybe
mm,
itself isn't very big in Indonesia at the time. Most people really like Hello Project in the Hello Project songs, Musume and Gadis Kobo and stuff like that.
mm.
And
but
well, that's what the group starts. Yeah.
but like sound and concept wise, like how would you describe them? Are they like, more cute, or like I don't know, or do they go harder? Like what kind of concept would you say they have?
Well, technically, their concept is basically combining the cultural aspect of J-pop idols and as well as Indonesian traditional culture. So I think that's the main concept. As for their sound itself, they basically mainly do cover songs of J-pop idols. So well, they're I think famous for covering Wasta song as well as Beast song, some older Morning Musume song as well. But they have also have original song, and really because the original song are made by band members, it was made by a friend of the group who had a band, and it's sounded like traditional idol, but it has that you know band sound, instrumental sound of a band.
Mm.
I guess
So, what
That
about the members? How many are there now?
right now, I should explain this, but there are technically two groups in Lusca. There are the main Lusca group as well as the way to explain it is that it's basically the situation with Keakizaka 46 and
Oh,
Hiragana
Oh, okay.
Keakizaka 46.
Hmm.
So
okay.
you have and you have the Kohai group, which is technically the undergroup, but at the same time it is its own group, which is the Kohai Lusca. And both groups right now have 6 members.
that's a good amount.
Hmm.
And like, what do the
Yeah,
members excel in?
it's actually
Like,
very
would you
common to have
say?
around
Mm,
uh what do they excel in? Well, I think it's just the trope of Indonesian Idol. I think like this is the trope of Indonesian Idol. The group are very much self-produced, so they don't really have people like producers or people who make their song, people who train them how to dance or people who train them how to sing. They do things like doing the choreography themselves. They do their singing lesson themselves. Well, actually, for their first single, Starlight Melody, the members actually written the lyrics for the song themselves. That's one of the thing that I really like about local idols here.
So, how big is their following at the moment? Can you give us a specific number or, such, or any such?
How what? Sorry.
How big is their following? Like, how many fans are there?
Ah, kind of hard to say right now because obviously the pandemic has impacted. So I can't really give a specific number, but they have around 3,000 followers, I think, on Twitter and around 5,000 on Instagram, something like that. pretty big for a, I guess, under.
Okay. So, like, where do you see the group going in the future?
Honestly, I think what they're going into the future is, well, first of all, I think it's connected with what Lusca is right now doing with Derek and also Idol Underworld, like in Indonesia, like Japan as well to promote the. They had went to Japan once in 2016, but that was the old batch of members. The current member hasn't actually to Japan. So yeah, it's really honestly it's really exciting what can happen in the future as soon as the pandemic stops.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I plan a
What
lot
one
of
of the
things.
hmm.
So, Dava mentioned that you are working together with Idol Underworld, aka Derek. So, like, from Derek's side of things, how has that been?
Yeah, like I was just gonna say, I was just gonna add, Dava, that I think that Lusca definitely has a future, a very bright one. It's one of the reasons I wanted to work together with them because the girls, like, there's a lot of groups. Not, I don't say a lot. Maybe that's wrong to say. There are some people out there in other parts of the world that are trying to do the idol thing, the Japanese idol thing, and I think they just fail miserably. Like they don't get it. They don't understand it. They try to make it too much about their culture and not about the Japanese culture they're trying to emulate. And I think there's a very fine line. Like, again, if you want a good primer on how to do it, check out BNK48. They do it perfectly. They have yet to do it wrong. And that is a country that figured out how to successfully integrate Thai music into Japanese idol music, and it works. I don't know how, but they got a good solid staff there that I think understand that. We've seen in Manila 48. Well, actually, they haven't really tried to integrate, have they? I haven't really heard anything Filipino as far
No,
as their music.
no, not at all
They
actually.
but they did do one thing that was cool that we actually had messed up on, was their outfits.
Yeah,
If I remember right, they had worn some traditional Filipino stuff,
yeah.
and it was very beautiful. But I think we were like, we didn't really care for the costumes, and we got slammed for saying that. But like, that's cool that they were trying to slip in their culture. That was actually that was smart of them to do that. So I take back what I was about to say. Like they actually, that was good. Um, I think with Indonesia, I'm not quite sure about Indonesia's song style and sound, but just from watching Lusca, the girls totally, I almost wouldn't even know, like they're so Japanese in the way they're paying so much tribute and respect to the Japanese idol concept that it's almost like they just crush it. So I think because of that, I really want to not look at them necessarily as an Indonesian idol group, but as an Indonesian group of girls who are doing the Japanese idol concept. Now, don't get me wrong. If Lusca wants to do something a little bit Indonesian and mix that in, that would be really cool. But I would say overall, as far as their future goes, I want to bring them here to Japan. I definitely want to set them up with a show at like a Chica show if they're willing to do it. I definitely want to bring quite a few idols to Indonesia to do a big matsuri with Lusca. Something me and Dava have talked about. So that's definitely going to happen as soon as the borders open up and Corona's done screwing us all over with life. But
Yeah.
I definitely see a collab. I think it's very important, especially in this day and age, to have collaboration in the world to break down those borders. And what better place to do it, and with what better people to do it than cute idols, who
Mm.
bring awesome smiles to everybody because they're so wonderful. So idols can definitely be ambassadors for that kind of a peaceful unity. Again, I looked at groups like BNK that's done that. That just really have made me feel like there's this whole other world in Thailand I didn't even know existed. Manila 48, those girls have the voices of God. Like they are from heaven with their voices. So I'm curious about how the Filipinos get this kind of like homegrown sense of singing. How do they do it so well? I mean, again, unfortunate that MNL has the management situation they have, but I'm not even worried about that. If you put that aside, you got a strong group of girls that are representing Filipino pride with their voices. I didn't even know that was a thing in the Philippines that like everybody could sing. I didn't even know, but now I know. I'm very curious to know about Indonesia. I'm curious to know about the culture. If there's any food I can eat, that won't kill me, because I have bad allergies to seafood. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like Dava, like we have so much of a journey ahead of us, I think, and I hope Lusca will not stop. I mean, right now, Idol Underworld, my fans, I don't say my fans, the fans that come to Idol Underworld, like, they've been curious. You know, we've done, what we've done with Lusca, but I think they need to see more. But I know the thing that I'm thinking is the Japanese fans, when they have Lusca in front of them, are going to be like, "Oh, hey, okay, this works. This works." And to me, my dream is to have Lusca in a venue in Japan. You have all these Japanese dudes and girls like in the crowd thinking, what's this? And by like the middle of the first song, they're mixing, they're chanting, and then I'm just gonna be like, "We did it! Yay, Dava, we did it!" You know, I'm just so happy, and
Yeah.
because that's really what I
Yeah,
want. I want those boundaries to break. And the same, we go to Indonesia. I want my
Yeah.
girls that I like love and they're practically my kids to be on the stage in Indonesia. And all the Indonesian fans are like, going crazy for them. Then I'm like, cry more. You know?
Honestly, I would like to say that Lusca, it's like they feel like the spirit or the soul of a J-pop group got somehow
Right?
lost and ended up in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Perfectly put.
yeah,
Perfectly put.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
You the
a
J-pop
lost soul.
idol, right?
Sorry?
I think like I think why Lusca embodies the J-pop idols very well. This is because they actually incorporate the right things of Indonesian culture towards the J-pop music, and like said, like Indonesian style music doesn't really fit the idol's persona, but what is actually things like the costume, things, the choreography, and that's actually what they do. Like for instance, in one of their songs called "Di Sini Katulistiwa," it's a song about the beauty of the culture and the diversity of Indonesia as well. It reflects that through the choreography, which a lot of traditional Indonesian dance, traditional Indonesian movement and music instrument in the song. I think also their costume, they have a lot of costume that inspired by Indonesian traditional clothes, the batik and
Oh,
stuff like that. So I think I think cultural, cultural, you implemented the right things and not the wrong things, I guess. Yeah.
So
well, if I can, I was just gonna say, Dava. I mean, I think you guys are doing a great job there. I think you guys should keep up the good work. All of our love and respect go to the girls in Lusca. Just know they got some fans across the world that are supporting them. We definitely support them here. I think, regardless, and it'll be your challenge, I think, to get them to assimilate more of Indonesian culture with the J-pop thing, but do it right. So I'd say look to BNK for that. They really have set the blueprint for how a foreign idol group should properly emulate Japanese idol music without destroying the Japanese part of it. And you have to really find that balance, I think. But I'm very curious. Indonesia is definitely welcome. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens next. Do you agree? I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off there, Maria. Were you gonna say something?
no, no, it's okay. I didn't really have much to say. I was just like, is this gonna be an awkward pause again? So try to fill it. But you went on. You went on to talk, so it's all good.
Yeah. So thank
So
you for being on here. Yeah, thank you. Much
yeah,
appreciated.
definitely. So I
Yes.
hope everybody watching now knows a bit more about Lusca than they did before, and hopefully you will go and check them out, support them, give them a lot of love. And now for the final talk of this podcast, we have something new to this podcast, we aren't actually talking about any release, any single idol, but we are talking about the question or the topic of what makes you fall in love with idols. Because obviously that is different for everybody, but what does it for us? And like on this topic, it's like what made you fall for your Kami Oshi, or on the K-pop side, old bias? And of course, everybody in the comments, feel free to tell us your stories as well on this. So maybe Derek, you would like to start.
I should probably go last. I got a lot to say.
Figures as
In
much.
that case, go on, DX. You
For
are.
me, yeah, for me, when I started my journey in the idol fandom, it was more like I didn't know what to expect, and it was like when I went to Japan in 2012, I was like, "What is this AKB48 thing everyone was talking about?" There were like big posters of the members back then, like Shino Nabariko, by the Atsuko, Takamina, were plastered all over the place in Akihabara when I was my apartment happened to be near Akihabara, so I saw all the posters as such, and there was this really big campaign going on about graduation of by the Atsuko back then. I was like, who are they? What are they? Where are they? Why are they so popular and such? And back then I was so not in the known, and then the whole graduation thing happened, and everyone around the Tokyo Dome was crying, and was like, "What's going on? Did something bad happen or something?" And it was only when I returned back to the Netherlands, a friend of mine called Microsoft, who is a big BNK fan himself, informed me about what AKB48 was all about, and at his apartment we ended up watching through the binge. We ended up binge watching all AK Bingo episodes basically. And back then, when I first got into the idol scene of AKB48, I really liked Shinoda Mariko. Was this. She was not that typical kind of idol. She was more tomboyish, and I kind of related to her. And then she graduated, and then I shifted towards Takamina. And right now it was more like I had a thing with leader type of. I had a thing for leader types basically, so I shifted towards Takamina after the graduation of Shinona Mariko. And from that on, when Takamina announced her graduation, it was like her and Komi were really talking to each other a lot, and she was giving Komi tips on how being idol and how being a leader and such. And Komi was also reading her book, and she also had the copy in her room as well. And Komi had a rough time, and I was like, after Takamina's graduation, I didn't know who to follow. I first wanted to follow Umemoto Izumi from HKT48 because she was this underrated, hardworking idol. She wasn't one of the big names in HKT48 basically. But before I had the chance to shift from Takamina, she graduated herself basically. And from that moment on, I started to look at Komi a bit more. And right now it was more like, yeah, she seems good. She seems to work hard and such. And maybe I should try her out after Takamina's graduation. So I shifted towards Komi. However, for some reason, maybe it's my timeline that's a bit cluttered, but I don't see much from Komi on Twitter. And it's just more like, maybe I should start looking around a bit more. And then I looked around at STU48, and I'm kinda in doubt whether to switch from Komi to Yamashita Fu because she has to live under the reputation of her big sisters, Yamashita Shu, who is now a graduate from NMB48, but she still has this wall to climb, which is her big sisters, because her big sister was more prominent in NMB48 than Yamashita Fu is in STU48 right now. So I kind of am in a bit of a transition, or kind of in doubt whether to follow her more or permanently. So it's more like I'm kind of shifting between Komi and Yamashita Fu at the moment.
Mm. I hope you managed to figure it out. Uh, yeah. For me, it's like, of course, I'm a very, very big K-pop fan. Like, on the J-pop side of things, there is only really one idol who I would call, a Kami Oshi, which is Hirata Yurina or
Yeah.
Techi. And for her, oh, it was love at first sight. Well, my first sight of her, well, not really. I know I had seen music videos for them before, but I had never really got into them. But when I saw Goro Hitsuji, which I know is the absolute worst time to fall in love with Techi, but I saw Goro Hitsuji and I was an absolute goner. Not a bit of me was not in love with her. I always say that with idols, like especially my all-time favorites, I fall for them with my whole heart and my whole soul. And it really was how much of herself she put out on stage. Like she let it all just go and released all the emotions pent up inside of her. And honestly, for me, that is just so goddamn beautiful.
It is.
Like, yeah, and I know it takes a lot out of her, but I can't help but loving it anyways. It's like you can see how like every time she does it, like that little bit of her, like I'd like to say she leaves it that little bit of her behind on that stage, and every time it's just a little more raw and all that. But it's like watching a car crash, but it really was like watching a car crash, but it was so goddamn beautiful.
No.
Yeah,
Very cool.
but and like on the other hand, like on the K-pop side, my all-time favorite, well, I have multiple, but I would say my first ever idol I fell in love with, EXO Sky, and he's kind of the same. Well, kind of the same on stage that he loves performing. He like him on stage is him at his happiest. Like when he smiles on stage, you can see like he would rather be nowhere else. This is like his euphoria right now, and you can see it, and that makes me fall in love with it. So for the next one, how about Dava?
Oh, how do I get into idol? Well, I think I started liking idol around 2013.
Oh,
Obviously,
sorry. The topic
then
is how did you fall in love with your all-time favorite
uh,
idol, with your Kami Oshi? Like, what made you fall for her?
my my favorite idol actually. Now, well, honestly, I actually never had an idol as a single an Okami Oshi or stuff like that. I never really Oshi, but I think my all-time favorite group got to be Nogi 46 because uh, I like Nogi. Everybody else, I started like 27, but Synchronicity came out. I finally realized that why I like Idol so much. Just the performance. They are very good. Synchronicity is basically embodiment of that. It's a great song with a great choreography. Yeah, the members are very beautiful in the music video, and the entire single as well. The whole Synchronicity discography is very very good, and yeah, basically I with
Oh, did he freeze? I think he did. Mm.
hello.
Oh,
I can
you're
hear
back.
you.
Yeah. So I think you froze for a bit. Do you have more to say on this topic? Um,
Am I cut off a lot?
A little bit.
yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, not really. Really, I don't really have a Kamioshi.
Okay.
Nogi
Well,
a lot, and I guess you can say that's my Kamioshi.
for people, it's really is different. It's like people love idols differently. So for next, Meta, how did you fall for your favorite?
So, as most of us who have been like in the idol world, we've seen a lot of idols, and all of them are more or less, beautiful people who are different level of performers. They have different things attracting us to them, and I fell for my Aussie, or my Kami Aussie, because of how she is as a person. I think she's good on stage, and seeing her on stage, seeing her achieving her dreams makes me incredibly happy, because it gives me the sense of I can achieve the same, or not the same dream, of course, but she gives me the courage to go follow my dreams. And that kind of quality of showing someone that we can do this together, working as fans and as idols, that has been something that's always attracted me towards my Aussies, towards my Kami Oshi. And also her, well, it's Chaprang, like it's no big surprise to anyone, but her dedication to her work as a scholar, her work as an idol, her work as the captain, those qualities in her made me feel like I want to see where she goes next. I want to follow her along on this story from someone who just loved idols herself to becoming the number one idol in the idol group for her country that is based on her favorite idol group. And that passion, that drive, it's incredibly amazing to see in idols on stage, and it drives or attracts me. Yeah, that's the right word. English is hard sometimes. But yeah, it's the passion for the work you're doing, the passion for your dream is what attracts me towards my Kami Oshi and my other Oshis as well. Seeing that I want this 110% with all my being, and I will work towards it and one day achieve my goal. That is kind of the number one thing that clues me on to them. And then there are other things that keeps me staying. Like, Chaprang and I like a lot of the same things. We're both AKB fans. We both like Japan, and we've learned the language. I'm learning. It's relatable, and also she's an amazing human being and really cute. I think that's it, yeah.
She does sound absolutely wonderful. I don't think you actually mentioned her name. I know a lot of the people watching will know already who she is, but
Well, I did say Chaprang, and it's not a big. It's not a big surprise anymore. People know. There's even a picture on my Twitter
Yeah.
profile of me wearing, the cat cap with like the cat ears and stuff, going all the way.
yeah. So finally, Derek, we are ready for your endless words of wisdom.
Yes, teach
Go
us.
on.
Well, I would say I have two, because I came into Idol through the major world with AKB, but then I certainly am not there anymore. But I would say Yukiden definitely struck me right away as the girl who was like my Kami of all Kami Oshis, as far as like she's really slim, she's really cute, has a great singing voice. Those are all qualities I look for in idols, especially even like in my personal life. That's kind of qualities I look for as far as like characteristics of like the type of females I like. But more so I just like her personality. Like, she's funny, she's interesting, like she's got this like interesting double side to her. I kind of shifted my Oshiman status towards Tani Marika from SKE48, obviously. I don't know, I like funny girls, I think. But Tani, but I like crazy girls. I like girls that like there's something wrong with them. And like she definitely has some screws loose and then some. But Tani's also very beautiful, because when I met her at the handshake event at Makahari Messe, she was overwhelmingly gorgeous. Like it's weird how the camera can play tricks on you, where
Yeah.
like you see someone on camera, you're like, this girl ain't nothing. Then you meet them. Like that happened to me, like Oya Shizuka and who's the other one?
Theory?
No, Chiori's
Oh,
so beautiful in person. And you just don't get that when you are watching them sometimes on camera. Nothing against that, I'm just saying. So Tani sort of won my heart away from you, Karen, but I would say like they kind of share that throne, even though that's technically means they're not Kami Oshi. Um as for my Chica idol experience, it had always again, because I'm staff now. I can't. I'm not really supposed to have Oshis and all that garbage. But like, I say garbage. Sorry, that's the wrong word. More like it's. I really have to designate myself as staff and not fan. But everybody knows I'm more of a fan than anything of idols. Like, I can't really distinguish between the two. It's hard for me a lot, because like I still want to dance at shows. I still want to have fun. I'm always praising the idols. They're probably sick of hearing me tell them how amazing I think they are all the time. But that being said, the one that really stuck out for me, maybe not so much anymore because I just have no connection anymore to the group. But like when I was a fan of it, was definitely Naracha from Yanakoto Soto Mute, Yanamu for short. Naracha, just her voice, everything about her. The very first time I saw them perform with Guso Drop, and everybody was wearing the Bubble T-shirts. That's their first album. I was like, why is everybody wearing the same shirt at the show? It's for Guso Drop, but they clearly had the crowd that night. And then when they came on, I mean, like, yeah, 20 minutes. I literally had to go outside. I was in tears. I was so emotionally wrecked by her voice, and primarily her voice, because she soars above all the other members. I mean, now they're all pretty even, but she was real. I mean, she really is like the heart and soul of Yanamu. And so when I met her, she was very shy and very quiet. But over the constant checkies I would do with her, she opened up and became more and more closer to me. And then, of course, as I think I've told the story before, when I took Yanamu to East Meets West Fest in Los Angeles, that was around the time of my birthday. She sung me happy birthday,
Oh,
and
nice.
I got like a private happy birthday from the Yanami members, but she led it, and I will never forget that as long as I live. Even though they thought it was funny because I was driving the members around Los Angeles at the time when they sprung that on me, and their one manager pulled out his phone, was filming my reactions. I'm crying, and I'm like, "Stop filming me. It's not funny," and they're all laughing at me because I'm crying, and it's just. But it was like to see this girl that like she's very reserved, she's not like, hey, look at me, I'm the best idol ever. Like, she's the quiet one in the group that you wouldn't expect has the loudest voice. But then the one big memory I have was when I saw them play Shinjuku Loft, and it was just a very big show. I was right up front. It was just sold. I was like 500 people there. It was insane. And Naracha jumped in the crowd on me, and she landed on me, and that she never jumps in the crowd, like, ever. And I was holding her up and crying, I was bawling, because it was like my favorite song, like one of my favorite songs
Aw.
by that was, and it was like she has my hand in her hand. I'm looking up at this tiny girl who is like my heart and soul of Idol. Like, she was everything to me. And to have that moment, it was like when I got into Idol and it was with Guso Drop, Yura from Guso Drop. I got very close to her, and then Yura would eventually, because Guso Drop's real crazy. Like, they go in the crowd, they spit water on you, they don't care. But Yura would get on my shoulders, and I would carry her around the venue while she's screaming, and I'm holding her up so she doesn't fall.
Oh.
And like, that trust is very cool, And so not a ton to do that's very rare. So I felt extremely privileged. And then one final thing I'll say, that my favorite show of all time that I've ever been to out of anything I've ever done was at this place called King's Cross in Ikebukuro. It's no longer around, but it's a crappy little chica venue. And it was Yanamu and Dots and Ryuku Idol. And Yanamu headline, and they played for like, I don't know, forever. Each group had like an hour or something. And it was the very last part of the song, and all the fans, they knew I'm a Narita Oshi. I mean, everybody knew that. And so this one fan that like, I was off to the side, and there was a big pile up of fans right in the center for the final part of the song, the last song. And this fan came out of nowhere and picked me up and just tossed me into the pile in front of Narita. And it was so
Oh.
funny. And it was funny because like the whole show, there's like no, like, here's stage 2 feet off the ground, and then there's you. I mean, and I'm getting pushed because the place is packed. I mean, and I'm getting pushed on the stage, and I have one leg on the stage the whole time, and Nanata's literally this close. I'm not even kidding. This is how close her face was.
Wow.
Singing my favorite songs, and I'm seeing the sweat pouring down her face, and she's looking like dead at me, and I it's just like, you're done, and
Honestly,
it's close,
I'm surprised you even remember it. If it was me, I would be just like, I know it happened, but I can't remember it.
Well, I got the videos off YouTube. I burned them off YouTube. They're not. I don't think the concert's on there anymore. So I have that concert, the entire thing, and you can see me because the guy who was filming it was right next to me. So you see my arm the whole time like this. It's so funny. at one point you see me go, and like, cause that fan just literally just picked me up, just threw me, and he's a big Japanese dude, and like it was just really cool because again that whole show to have the person you love and idol be that close to you. It's one of those Chica moments too because she's so famous and she was already really famous back then. But like if you come to the Chica idol world, like that happens a lot. Like before COVID, like girls get right in your face, they'll go down in the crowd, they'll sing to you, they'll grab you. Like it's very personal. But that was by far one of the greatest moments like ever for me because I had a real connection with her. So much that the whole group went to Los Angeles with me, and they didn't even know me that well. I was just a fan that had became a staff member, but it was a recent transition. But they still trusted me to do that, and I think it's because they understood my passion for Nada-chan and for Mani and Ichika and yeah, I really, 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 really love them. So, by the way, if you want one of the greatest albums of all time, listen to Bubble by Yanamio, Yanakoto Sotomito. It is definitely my pick for best album ever written in history. So just throwing that out there. Anyways, that was my story.
Ah, it's a story to make literally anybody jealous, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I actually have
being that.
story to that,
Dava?
Oh, Dava?
Yeah, talking about really about Chica idols, underground idols. I actually have full story with Lusca. Can I tell the story?
Yeah,
Mhm.
go for it.
Well, I guess Derek told the story about the con he went to. For me, I think I want to tell the story about how Lusca really helped me studies in university. I think I have done several assignments, including like things like finals and stuff that I use main subject of my the first time I ever actually met him, and we met because I had a do an interview figure, let's say a public figure in the region of where I pretty famous. Like the group Lusca, I already know them. They're pretty famous. I reached out to them and they said, yeah, you can do an interview. Basically, the interview and I get an A. So yeah, that was the thing. Them. Another thing is that just I think late last year, I do a documentary film about group and not a group, but I think if you check it out, I can actually get it is up in English. Yeah, just give me a shout and I'll give it. And yeah, again, and through that documentary, I actually get award of best documentary for that assignment. Yeah, they genuinely have helped me a lot with my study. Yeah, I really appreciate
It
with the group.
does sound wonderful. You also mentioned that you wanted
Yeah,
to talk about each member of the group briefly as well.
yes.
So I think now is a good time to
Uh,
do it.
I, well, yeah. Let's talk about the group. I think for this one, I'm just gonna talk about the senpai members. There are six. Let's start with the senior member. Her name is Sachi. Her name is Sachi. Her real name is actually Dinasti Silma. We'll call her leader of the group. She's the oldest member of the group. Well, technically not the oldest, but the most senior. Yeah, she's right now the longest serving member in the group. 2013, so like 8 years, I guess. She's been around. She's been around for a while. And yeah, uh, honestly, I never actually say that I have a favorite member. She, she is my favorite member. She is my favorite member. Sachi is my favorite member. This is the first time that members going to know that I like Sachi. That next member is youngest member group, uh, Mega. She is basically the her of the group at dancing. She is the one who teach the member how to dance, the choreography, the job and stuff like that. Practice other stuff like that, including in performance. Yeah. And also Mega is actually one of the unique, most unique members. Although she is very young, she is also very mature for her age, especially, and it also has really very colorful hair. You can never get hair color. Cool story is um, late in December, like brown. January, her hair was blonde, and I just met her yesterday, and her hair was black. Multiple hair color, kind of like 3 months. She's one of the most unique members in the group. Next, we have members Pio. I know it's a really weird Pio, even for Indonesian. I don't actually know. So yeah, okay. We have a girl name. You would want to follow her on Instagram because her Instagram is really really beautiful. It's very beautiful. It's very pretty as well. And but really, her main stuff Instagram. I'll put the link on every single message on the description below or on the comments below. Next, we have Sifa. Well, I honestly don't really a lot of interaction with her, but she, as the other members told me, she is basically the mood booster of the group. Very funny, very very funny, and very crazy, basically. And finally, we have the twins. Twins, I think. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Can you guys introduce yourself?
What?
Hello guys, my name is Yolanda Sinla, and my name is Karin Sinla. We are a member of Lusca ID, local idol group from Indonesia. Yeah, and we also
Hi.
known Sinla sister because we are a same hobby. Right. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh wow.
That is the last sister. Anyway, since they're here, do you guys have any question towards the girls?
How is it
Why
like
would
being a
it
member?
be? Yeah.
Yeah. How is it like to be a member? Do you want to answer in Indonesian or in Pas saya jadi member?
Pastinya senang karena kita berdua ini memang hobi di bidang di Jepangan gitu alias wibu. Pastinya senang banget buat bisa gabung ke idol group kak ini gitu. Karena kita bisa menyalurkan bakat kita di situ.
So basically they're saying like it's been great being members of an idol group because it is their hobby. They like idol, so being an idol is yeah, that
Do the members speak Japanese?
oh the twins actually can speak pretty okay Japanese, not great.
Oh.
Understand.
Right on. Dava, we have a really we have a really bad connection. I'm so sorry. Like we can barely hear anything. You keep cutting out. Thank you so much for doing this for us. Please tell the girls thank you. But I think we're gonna have to stop it now because honestly, we can't hear anything. So thank you so much. It's so sweet of the girls.
Sorry.
Please tell them thank you.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Thank you, Daisy. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming.
No,
Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Nice for having you all here.
I think how about let's just finish up with. Do you have anything to say to the international fans, guys?
Aku berharap nih, sorry, I use Indonesian, right? No problem, okay? Berharap supaya Lusca ID ini bisa dikenal oleh banyak orang di luar sana. Seperti itu.
Thank you. They say they hope Lusca can be more national world.
Okay, thank you so much. Really, thank you. Really, so awesome. Okay, I think let's wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, has anybody got any recommendations for the following week? What they think the viewers should check out? Let's start with DX. Yeah.
Not necessarily for next week, but actually is an interesting concert announced on the STU48 site. It's a STU48 subunit concert called Pierre Boutai, who also did the song we reviewed earlier, and they're joined by Noemi, a group that Sasha Rino produces. So this is going to be quite an interesting concert. It's being held at Ikebukuro Club Mixa on the 27th and 28th of March. So this is something I hope there's going to be footage released of the said concert because I'm really curious how this chemistry is going to be. So that's my recommendation. It's not necessarily for next week, but it's a future event I really want to see.
Very cool.
So yeah. So for me, my my also one of my favorite groups who is actually Chinese, Wavy. They are releasing their new mini album, and I am really excited for it. The news actually just came out today, so I hope everybody looks forward to it. Meta, how about you?
I was almost about to say it for you because I knew what you were thinking of. It was like, I know this. I have the answer.
Yeah.
But my recommendation is everyone go check out the single announcement for CGM48. Go listen to those seconds that we get to hear from Jasmine. Just, and be excited for it. And also tomorrow there's going to be a big collab thing for the BNK Digital Live Studio because Orn is in a new TV show, which is going to be on Netflix, hopefully everywhere. Hopefully everywhere, called Let's Fight Ghosts. It's a Thai remake of a Korean show, if I remember correctly, and Orn is the lead actress in the show. So she's going to be on the live studio and some of the other actors from the TV show that's debuting soon. So keep a lookout for it and please watch the show.
Sounds great. Now, Dava, do you have anything to recommend? I assume it's gonna be Lusca.
One of them is Lusca, but the other one is actually the Nogizaka 46th birthday live. It's going on. The first, well, technically second day. They still have another 2 days or another 3 days. So yeah, that's the first recommendation. The second is actually.
Oh no.
And he's gone.
Poor
guy. Yeah.
He's back.
He's back?
He's reconnected.
Hey, it wouldn't be one of our podcasts without some kind of problem. Come on. He just happened to be the one. It's like technical roulette, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's gonna be this time?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Yes, I'm back. So yeah, anyway, the second recommendation is just keep an eye on the channel because I have been planning and making a lot of new content with them. And I actually planning on doing English subs for a lot of the new content.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Okay. So now, Derek, what do you have to recommend to finish us off?
DX, did you go?
Already went, yeah.
Sorry, I just my brain. Okay.
It's okay.
No, I think it all goes to Lusca today. I think let's you if you are an international fan of Idols, you can easily purchase their digital singles as well as some amazing photos they took. Courtesy of Idol Underworld. Go to Idol Underworld, the site I made, and you can buy quite a bit of stuff. It's very it's all overwhelmingly good. Again, if you're a fan of Idol, it's you should be getting on that, especially if you're all about cross cultural promotion. Indonesia's in the game, they stepped up, and Lusca is at the top of the game, and they're coming hard with Lusca, and they are really phenomenal. And as you saw, the kind of girls they are, we even had some of their members just now pop in randomly, complete surprise.
Yeah,
But
we
that's
got
the
caught
type of
off your
girls
guard.
we're
Yeah.
talking about. That's the type of quality idol we're talking about, that they're so cool, they're willing to come to our tiny little podcast and like say what's up. I mean, you don't get better than that. So as a fan of Idol, I really, really want to see you guys go to Idol Underworld and start making some purchases. It's easy. I could have made it more simple for all of you. And that, I think, is the only recommendation that needs done this week as far as I'm concerned. Dava, thank you so much for being on. I'm sorry we had such technical problems, but it is a real honor to have not only you on, but the girls as well. Please give them all our love and respect, and we'll continue to support them, of course, as much as we can. If you have anything else you ever want to promote, just let us know. Let me know. Yeah, really, really awesome to have you on, and thank you so much. Thank you, Lusca. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you having me also. Thank you guys.
So I think this would be it for this podcast. I think it ended up going quite long. I think like an hour, 45 minutes, something quite insane like that. But anyways, we made it to the end. I hope that people watching made it to the end. I hope you all have a nice rest of the week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.